My name is Thomas Hobbes of Malmesburg, and I was born in 1588. I am an English political philosopher. I am considered one of the founders of modern political philosophy, who thinks that most human and natural phenomena can be explained rationally and scientifically. Unfortunately, my dad was a high-tempered man who abandoned my siblings and I when I was only 4. At age 15, I was sent to a private school. Once I attended university school, I took a traditional arts degree and in spare time developed an interest in maps. For most of my adult life, I worked for different branches of the wealthy and aristocratic Cavendish family. Throughout my employment by William Cavendish, the first Earl of Devonshire, and his heirs, I became connected with the royalist side in disputes between the king and parliament that continued until the 1640s and that it culminated the English Civil Wars. The main aspect of my philosophy was the belief that people needed to live in absolute monarchies. I truly believe that this was the best form of government. I think it's the only form of government that can keep human society orderly and peaceful. I also believe people are wicked and evil and need a government to keep society in line. I do not believe that any church should have power in the government. The reason for this is that the church's power might interfere with or reduce that of the sovereign. Therefore, no organized churches should be able to wield power. Well, I believe that people gave up all of their rights to the sovereign when they formed societies. This was not like Locke's idea, in which people retain their fundamental rights and the government is required to protect those rights. I think that one area of similarity between Locke and I was that both of us sought to articulate a relationship between the individual, but not only that, also our society and our government.
My name is John Locke. I was born in 1632 in Brighton, Somerset. My father was a lawyer and a small landowner who had fought on the parliamentarian side during the English Civil War of the 1640s. Using his wartime connections, he placed me in the elite Westminster School between 1652 and 1667. I was a student and then a lecturer at Christ Church, Oxford, where I focused on the standard curriculum of logic, metaphysics, and classics. I also studied medicine extensively and was an associate of Robert Hooke, Robert Boyle, and other leading Oxford scientists. I was one of the most significant Enlightenment thinkers, as well as a physician and philosopher. I was an English philosopher and political theorist. I made central contributions to the development of liberalism. Liberalism is the holding of liberal views. In the two treaties of government, I defended the claim that men are by nature free and equal against claims that God had made all people naturally subject to a monarch. One way to define modernity is to say that it is the time in which there is a move away from traditional ways of thinking and organizing society. I was influenced by Descartes. While I might have held some fundamental disputes with Cartesian logic, the basic premise of the realm of the private is something that resonates quite loudly with me.